Welcome to M Squared TechCast, a live show offering the latest news and interviews with the people driving business, technology, and politics in Michigan. Now, your hosts, Matt Roush and Mike Brennan.
Hey, it's Matt Roush.
And Mike Brennan.
And we're back in Studio One for another episode
Yes, very
of the
familiar
M Squared
days.
TechCast.
Yes,
Yeah, we've been here in Royal Oak for 3 years now. 3 of the 4 years we've been doing this thing.
Yeah.
And we have been over in the new TV studio, but today we're back in the audio studio, or mostly audio.
The curse of the TV studio, right, David?
I'm just going to call it the Brennan's curse.
Is that what it is?
Because it works fine except for Mondays.
Okay.
I could give you the whole list of things that have gone wrong over there, but we don't have time for that. So.
Yeah, what's the old song, I Don't Like Mondays? Yeah, right. Okay. there we
Rainy
go.
days and Mondays. Go ahead. Why don't you introduce us?
All right, yeah, we have a great lineup of guests for you today. We're going to start off the show with Bruce Sizemore of MoreGolf. He is a Michigan entrepreneur, and not only is he the only person manufacturing golf clubs in Michigan, he is the only person manufacturing golf clubs in the entire United States of America, which is pretty cool. So, Bruce, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved in the golf industry. I know you were saying before the show that you started on a public course in Livonia when you were just a little kid, right?
Sure. Yeah. So I began the game kind of just in fields because that's what was the opportunity at the time. But so I was born and raised in the Detroit area, and I started playing at a very young age. Began caddying then at Franklin Hills Country Club. Graduated through to a couple of different clubs. Played on the high school golf team, and then went to Ferris State. At that time, this dates me, but at that time, Ferris State was the only professional golf management program in the country. And so I went there. After I left Ferris State, I went and took some teaching positions at Brayburn Country Club in Purchase, New York, Country Club of Indianapolis, as well as Diamond Bar Club in California. With the intent and goal to play on tour. So when I left there, I started playing on various tours in the U.S., and my back, though, didn't kind of agree. So by the time I was 28, my playing career through injuries was pretty much done, and certainly still a strong passion for golf. And so that's when I transitioned into golf club design. So my first 10 years of being a golf professional was first as a professional player and instructor, and the last 20 years have been solely in golf club design.
So tell us a little bit about that design. I'm looking at the question here. It doesn't really quite fit the segue here. So you decided to get into design, and so it's sort of revolutionary. It was explained to me earlier today because I wasn't familiar with your company, but why don't you explain it?
Sure. So, there's a lot of talk about disruptive technologies in certain industries, and, we deem ours is more transformative because it's really kind of transformed the way golf clubs have been made. Traditionally, for the last 500 years, as long as golf has been around, the golf club has been primarily a one-piece cast or forged golf club head.
A big club, essentially, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and so our concept was to kind of explode the club apart into pieces and put it back together as a puzzle in the way that it maximizes the performance and playability of the golf club. So we just start out with a faceplate, and then our clubs are all CNC machined. In here in Michigan, and it's more of a modular component basis, so that the hosels, the flanges are all interchangeable. That allows for the custom club portion of the market for club fitters and PGA professionals to kind of dial in the golf club for the way the player delivers the golf club to the ball, as opposed to the player having adapt to traditional golf club manufacturing styles.
So the components of the golf club then are manufactured as separate components, right? There's a shaft, there's a club face, and
grip
and
and
grip.
all that.
Yeah, the grip. And how are all these things then assembled, and you make sure that the thing's not going to fall apart when you swing it?
Sure. So we actually are getting into the grip line as well. So we have some really transformative new grip line that's coming out that is also component in nature, and actually for the first time has performance and playability features as well as smart technologies built into it. So we didn't want to look at it as just the club head or just just the shaft or just the grip. We wanted to take all components involved and make them work together, so to speak.
Okay, so how's it assembled then? Once you have all these separate components, I see you holding on to there.
Sure. So the two separate ways for the more advanced club fitters around the country, around the globe, I should say. Sometimes they just require us to send the heads and the components, and then they fit them for the players there, as well as we also send out then complete clubs, for the other market segments.
And then you these completed clubs over here next to you?
Sure. So we are just launching right now our Artisan line of clubs, and that's to kind of focus and showcase on our craftsmanship and artisanship. These were all 100% handcrafted in Detroit, solid copper and solid silver Mocha Megani inserts, which are all hand forged and hand patterned, so that each one has its own kind of fingerprint, so to speak. We call it our privilege of one.
And then those also putters. I see you got 4 of them there. So
Sure. So our club line is both our putter line and our iron line and our wedge line is what is being released right now. You can see this in its more complete form, where the faceplate, the flange and the hosel are independent of it. We also have a very unique machined-in pattern into the face, which applied to the putter line creates overspin and instant roll. When applied to lofted clubs with a descending arc, creates better spin characteristics in the clubs.
and the shaft, do you build that as well?
The shaft, no. We partner with 2 shaft companies right now. Our mass properties are so different in our heads, meaning that we have about 60 grams more in the club head than the rest of the industry based on our super metal alloys. There's about a 70 gram difference in our hosel weight. So our clubs inherently, they're not comparable to others. So we actually had to reach out to 2 specific shaft manufacturers and have shafts designed specifically for the design features of our club heads.
So what's the advantage of the difference in mass that your clubs have?
Longer distance and straighter shots. So in all of our testing, we started out at U.S. Golf Laboratories in San Diego to do our robotic testing. That's the official testing center for the entire golf industry to get our baseline. And through that, we basically, through ball launch monitor systems and the robotic testing, it was the first time actually that a club line demonstrates #1 performance characteristics in every single category. Both and distance and shot dispersion accuracy being the 2 key metrics that golfers are typically looking for.
Sure.
So when you buy them, do you then buy the various pieces and assemble them yourself? Is that how it works?
Typically, we deal through networks of high-end club fitters,
okay.
and they'll then fit you for the clubs. Later down the road, when you get a little bit more accustomed to the product, that's certainly an option, and that does happen. So, we tend there's 2 types of golfers: the kind of set it and forget it, put it together for me, fit me, and then I'm good to go. And then you get more of the gearhead performance type of golfers the
types.
tinkers that are like, no, I want to interact with the clubs, and those are the type that I kind of like it myself. But
Okay.
So right now, what would you say in your stage? You're beyond beta? You're into manufacturing heavy now?
We are. So we are just launching the Artisan line of putters, and we are manufacturing ready on the production putter line, which has 4 different models in it, as well as our wedge line and the iron line. And soon to come is our metalwood line, which has, again, all component type of features to it. So our ability to kind of control launch angles, spin rates, all the different things are kind of built into the golf clubs in a different way that's been done before.
That's great. So I would imagine that all this wonderful technology does not not come cheap. What is the price of these products so far?
Sure. So it is a premium line, and it does come at a premium price. Our production line, for the most part, whether it's putters, wedges, or irons, for now, they're all in the same retail price standpoint of around $400 a club. That's due to the manufacturing, the precision nature of the CNC billet machining, so we are at the premium standpoint now.
So who's your typical customer then? They're really quite a golf fanatic, quite literally, right?
Sure. So any golfer obviously seeking better performance and better playability, because that's what we're about, right? But I think golf has transitioned slightly into a little bit more of an experience. Obviously, it's still a wonderful game or sport, but people are if they're going to invest the time and money into the sport, they're seeking a little bit higher level of experience, whether that's at the golf club they play at, and or the equipment they play. And so our goal and objective is excellence in all ways. So we don't skimp on any materials or craftsmanship or quality. It's they come at that price point because the performance and playability is there.
So how did you find your machine shop that you're working with?
That is the actual reason we brought the company back from Florida to Michigan 4 years ago when we started this project. My past endeavors have been pretty much putter lines, CNC billet milled putter lines. This time around, knowing that we were doing an all 14 club approach and knowing the supply chain we would need for that and the manufacturing support, Michigan was the obvious choice. Growing up here, I knew that the CNC machining plants, the injection molding companies we need for our grip line, the finishing and coating companies, the fastening technology companies, there is no other equal, in my opinion, across the country. It's right all here, and the best is all right here in Michigan.
And as we were talking beforehand, you mentioned Jackson, which kind of surprised me because I said when I drive through Jackson on the way to Grand Rapids, I'm thinking of the prison, and that's about it. But there's actually a lot going on in Jackson, right?
There certainly is. In fact, I believe one of the interesting things that I learned not too long ago is there's more golf courses in Jackson, Michigan per population than any other city in the country. But most importantly, it was the manufacturing base. So they do a lot of aerospace there, and usually when you see aerospace, that tends to, and medical, that tends to let you know that there's a lot of precision manufacturing going in that area. So it certainly wasn't the number one place that we were seeking, but once we started delving into what the wealth of manufacturing in the Jackson area, that became an obvious that we were going to go in that direction.
All right. So where do you think your business needs help as you look to expand and grow?
Sure. So we have obviously an amazing product line. The timing's perfect for this endeavor. We've really assembled a world-class team. At this point in time, we're in our first funding stage. Our company's been 100% self-funded internally. So we're going out and reaching out to I guess we wouldn't call them angel investors, but kind of golf angels, people that share the same mission and passion we do and want to be part of something that's this special.
Cool.
We've got a little over a minute left. This is the shameless plug time, so where you can talk about your website, how people can reach out to you however you want.
Whether they're customers or investors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. So you can go to MoreGolfUSA.com and check out our site. We're just launching the Artisan Line there, which you'll find under the Detroit collection, and you'll see kind of a little bit of an overview of some of the first of its kind pioneering technologies that are going into the club line. It's a little bit of a teaser. Soon, in about 2 months, the site will be filled out with the launch of the entire club line.
Okay.
Okay.
Sort of reminds me of the start of Shinola watches. It's a premium product made here in Michigan. It's pretty cool.
Traditional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life. But LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.